are coming to Islam, you have to not just meet the people or go to the places. I mean, you can eat falafel and like Palestine and not be Muslim, right? I mean, that probably calls you an Israeli. You have to get dawah from somewhere. So between 2008 and 2010, I was getting dawah, but just from one place, from Somalian taxi drivers. May Allah bless them, because they are the unseen army of Islam. I'd get into their car and I'd say Salam Alaikum, because I'd been to Palestine, and they'd say Walaikum Salam. Are you Muslim? No. Well, let me tell you about our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And for the next 20 minutes you'd have hadith, 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 Quran, hadith, Quran. And I loved it. And every time I got into the taxi, I would feel my heart. It was as if I'd had a small heart, and that my heart was growing. Because my heart was growing with love for the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Allah tells us, love me, love my Prophet. Follow me, follow my Prophet. This is one of the things that has to happen. Your heart must come to love Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I still get into Somalian taxi drivers now, by the way, when I'm dressed like this in my hijab. And now, since becoming a Muslim, they have one question for me, and amazingly, it's always the same question. Are you married? Are you married? Are you married? Are you married? No hadith, no Quran. What happened? Subhanallah. I'd like to share with you how I got my first Quran. In 2007, I was walking down the old streets of Al-Quds before I had to catch a plane, and it was raining, really tipping it down, grey day, and I only had 40 minutes, and I was stressed, and I had a long list of things to get, and I was looking in the rain like this, and a young Palestinian man fell into step next to me and said, "Marhaba," in that jolly way, grinning ear to ear. They have just such happiness in them. "Marhaba." I said, "Marhaba." He said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Well, I have a list here of things I need to get, and I'm really in a hurry." He said, "All these men here are my uncles. Give me your list, I will get everything, it's no problem." So on my list was 2 stuffed toy camels for my daughters, a mother-of-pearl picture of Yasser Arafat, someone wanted, a ceremonial knife for my ex-husband, you know, Arabian-style knife, and I kind of wanted a Quran in English. So for the next 40 minutes, we dived in and out of all of the old stalls in the beautiful old streets of Al-Quds. And we had so much sweet mint tea, I thought I must have diabetes. And then 40 minutes later, I'm standing on the street back in the rain. This young man, I've never seen him before and I've never seen him since. I can't even tell you his name. I said to him, "How much do I owe you?" He looked at me and said, "Sister, this is a gift from the people of Palestine. Don't forget us." SubhanAllah. And that's how I got my first copy of the Quran. But you know, it was another 2 years before I finally got the call, or accepted the call, or Allah decided I was ready to receive the call to Islam. I was traveling again in a Muslim country, and guess what the month was? Ramadan. And guess what? I was going to cover a march for Al-Quds. SubhanAllah. I was in Tehran, and I was going to Esfahan, and I had a friend, her name is Nargis, and she said, "Let's go to Esfahan." It was Ramadan, and we arrived at the exact moment, the call for prayer for Maghrib and Iftar time, outside a mosque in Qom. The exact moment, the azan went, we're passing through, we might as well go in. It's all just a coincidence, life, right? Is it? So I go in, I make wudu this time, because I know wudu. And I put on a chador, a big sort of sheet, black sheet, and I go in. And I make a simple prayer. And I say, Dear Allah, I don't need anything from you, because you've given me such a great life. But please, please bless Palestine. And then I sit down, and I'm ready to watch all the women feed the children, and all of the hustle and bustle of a busy mosque in Ramadan. But that's not what happens. When I sit down, I am put into a place of such peace. Peace like I pray you will feel. It was like being under a waterfall of tranquility. Nothing can come in except for this feeling of peace. It's not as heady as joy. Joy ends. This tranquility went on forever. I sat and sat. And I realized at that moment that every problem that we make, it's us who makes it. Because this universe is based on love. And we are given love, we are created with love, and peace is what Allah, our Maker, wants for us. I sat there, and then strange things started to happen. A group of girls, young girls who I'd never seen before, came up to me and started sitting around me and staring at me. They said they could see something was happening. All I was doing was sitting looking at my hands, thinking this is a nice feeling, I like this feeling. One of the girls put her hands on my shoulders and she said to me, I love you. And I felt such love at that moment that I thought my heart would burst. I felt like I'd known this girl I just met for my whole life, and I realized at that moment that I was inside the Ummah, that I was being allowed to touch the flow of love and affection that goes between Muslims every hour of the day, 24/7, 365 days a year. I was in the Ummah, I wasn't a tourist anymore. My friend Nargis, after a while, said, we should go to our 5-star hotel. I said, no, I'm sleeping here tonight. And I slept on the floor of the mosque. The next morning I prayed Fajr. And then around 5 o'clock in the morning, I went outside to finally get a breath of fresh air and shake my head. I was dizzy and woozy, and then the fear came. What is happening to me? What am I thinking? I can't be Muslim. I don't want to be Muslim. I can't give up drinking. I can't fast. I can't wear hijab. My heart started to pound fast. I was walking backwards and forwards. And then I realized that feeling meant the Quran was real, God was real, Shaitan was real, the prophets were real, hell was real, heaven was real. Everything came to me all in about 15 minutes. Can you imagine? That is to know terror. Brothers and sisters, that is terror. I thought I was going to faint. I was having a panic attack, and a voice said inside me, don't worry, it's going to be fine. Just accept you've had this feeling and go on with your life and you're going to be fine. And I thought, yeah, what? Why was I being so stupid? Just go on with my life. I had a nice feeling in a mosque, big deal. So I got into the car and we carried on our journey, and I was prepared to go on with my life. It was just one tiny little thing, small, tiny thing. Every 3 hours I needed to pray. Not just wanted to. Now when the call to prayer goes, you're like, oh, I've got something on the stove, or I'll do it in a minute, I'll do these calls. No, like, oh my God, if I don't pray, I'm going to explode. So we were passing mosques on the way, and I was saying to the people driving, can we stop at the mosque? And they were going, why? Do you want to pray? It's like, no. Why would I want to pray? I'm not Muslim. Do you want to pray? The next night, it took me to the next night to be alone in a hotel room, and when I put my head down in sujood, it was as if I'd been holding my breath my whole life. And that the first breath that I took was in sujood that night. I cried so much And I said 2 words. I said sorry and thank you. Over and over again. I didn't know subhanallah. I just said, I'm really sorry and thank you. 7 days later, in London, I walked into a mosque and I said, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah. Alhamdulillah.
Takbir! Takbir! Takbir!
And that really is my story. Everybody has a journey to Islam, and you, all of you sitting here, you are on your journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ours is just more surprising because we come from nowhere to where you begin. But Allah is always calling you to improve your deen. It's always giving you signals, wear the hijab, sisters, calling you, giving you a chance, making it easier for you, and that time will come, inshallah. Brothers, making it easier to give, making it easier to read the Quran every day. Allah calls to you. It's not just reverts' journeys. We're all on this journey. If I may, I just want to share 2 things. I went back to Gaza in April this year, to a place called Bayt Hanun. Bayt Hanun, this used to be a place of orchards and farmlands, and it was really pretty on the edge of Gaza. It's now what Israel calls its buffer zone, so it's just bulldozed land with watchtowers and drones going overhead. And I went there and it was Maghrib time to visit a family. And there was no electricity, there's no gas now in Gaza. There's no petrol, there's no oil, and even the wood for burning so they can cook a hot meal, there's no wood left to burn. This is the situation in Gaza now. I went inside this family's home. You wouldn't put your car in this place. An empty cement room with nothing in it. 15 children and two mothers and 1 father, 15 children. And you know, it's incredible to me, some Muslims say wicked things, cruel things. Why do they have so many children then? Do you think a Muslim father sets out to live in poverty with his family? Do you think a Muslim mother has no sense of responsibility? These people did not make this situation. This is a man-made catastrophe. The father in that family, he was a taxi driver. He used to actually work in Israel, but they stopped people working in Israel, so there's no jobs in Gaza. He was a taxi driver. His taxi broke down, it cost $1,000. You might as well say $1 million. So he couldn't work, they sunk so deep into poverty. I go in, and the mother is there, and her name is Iman. And Iman shows me her children. She says, this is Yusuf, he's 6. She pulls up his trouser leg, he has white phosphorus burns all down his leg. White phosphorus, for those who don't know, it's napalm of the 21st century. Napalm with toxins in that we don't know what diseases it's going to cause. She showed me 2 of her daughters, they were just rocking like this. They stopped talking 2 years ago. They were shell-shocked because of what the Israelis have been throwing at them. The elder boy, 16, has a bullet in his shin. Sniper shot him. When I went to a back room to pray, I put my head to the ground and I just started to cry. And the tears came out so hard and fast that I remembered Yaqub and how he almost went blind with grief. And I thought, yeah, this could happen. This could happen because this isn't right, the amount of tears leaving. And Iman came into me, this mother with 11 children, and she said, why are you crying? I said, I'm crying because I hate this. I hate this for you. I hate that Israel's going to keep killing your children. I hate that the world doesn't care. I hate that you're going to keep living in poverty. I hate that I can't do anything. I hate this. And this mother looked at me and she said, you're crying for us? I said, yes. She said, but we're so happy. We're so happy. We have Allah. And Allah loves us. And if we are steadfast and we are patient, Allah has promised us Jannah. This is our faith. And how grateful are we every day? So please, brothers and sisters, remember to say Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. And on the point of generosity, I want to tell you that this February, as happens with many reverts, I couldn't pay my rent. I'm a single mother, alhamdulillah. And I hit a stage when I just thought, wow, I looked at my books and I went, okay, I can't pay this month's rent and I can't pay next month's rent. Allah help me. And I started to just give away whatever money I had. Anybody who asked, and I get asked a lot, alhamdulillah, Allah gives me a chance. This is how you should see when you're asked to do things. Somebody knocks on your door. The Sahaba, when they used to get a knock on the door, probably just pulling aside and shouting through the hut, hello, salam. When they got that and somebody said, I need help, they're like, Takbir, Allahu Akbar. Allah has given me a chance to get a blessing, get rid of a sin. This is the way to see it when somebody asks something of you, by the way. So I thought, this is a test, just give it away. Anybody ask? Yeah, I've got it. Somebody wanted it, sister couldn't pay her own rent. I haven't got enough, but I can give you it. In March, my daughter, who just said her Shahada, got into private school. She worked really hard. And I didn't know how I was going to tell her, you can't go. Because there's no way I can ever pay the fees. Brothers and sisters, her fees are paid for the next 5 years. Brothers and sisters, I have enough to live on now, and I was given a car. Subhanallah, give your money away for the sake of Allah, He will not let you do. Thank you, Jazakallah khair. All praises for Allah.